There we go. We are live, dude. So, anyways, we were just chatting backstage. There, I was getting to know Jose a little bit. Appreciate you coming on here, Jose. And we were just talking. We were starting to talk about the comeback of Tampa Bay magnet fishing, and he was just going into some of the stuff he was doing while he was working up to the comeback. So, what's going on, dude?
Not a whole lot, man. Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm a little exhausted. I went out and did a little magnet fishing today. It's been raining a lot down here where I'm from, just south of Tampa, and I finally was able to get out. I'm a little exhausted. My muscles and my back's, a little fired up, but good hurt. Good hurt.
I hear that. Yeah, I see. You were mentioning a second ago that you were doing the metal detecting. So, is there a channel for that too, or were you just doing that for the fun of it?
No, there was a channel for that too. So um, my editing skills aren't exactly the greatest, but the process of going out and filming, not so much, throwing a magnet or metal detecting. It's just the process of filming, whether the camera's on your head, on your chest, being
Right.
able to just talk to people as if you're standing there with you and they're, you're explaining stuff to them. That
Yep.
really, really, really burns in my soul. Is something that I enjoy. So I started Tampa Bay Metal Detecting. I know, such a
Okay.
horrible name, right?
Original,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I did that for probably about a year and a half on and off. Did very well there. Found a lot of really cool things.
Yeah.
And again, the back pain. Did you want me to stop? I don't know. Did you?
With what?
Oh no, I thought you were talking to me. The back pain
No,
and the
I
neck
was
pain
just saying
got
hi
to
to
be.
Nick. Sorry.
Sorry about that. The back and neck pain got to be a little bit too much for me, so I stopped metal
Right.
detecting. But the rest and just really understanding that my body needed to just chill out really helped
Yeah.
me get stronger. So now when I go out magnet fishing, I go out, I magnet fish, I come home, I feel good.
Right.
It takes me a couple days. So, but yeah, that was a separate channel too because of the filming and the editing. I love it. There's something about it. Even though I'm horrible at it, I love it.
No. No. I don't know. I hear you on the broken thing. Like I was just telling you a little while ago, I actually didn't go live here last week. I didn't go live magnet fishing this week because I did that whole thing with my neck where I pinched it. Um, and up until honestly right now, I couldn't even do this. But about 4 hours ago, I saw my chiropractor and he did some weird like laser thing on my neck, and I can move. So it's a
Oh,
bonus.
that's awesome. Just
Yeah,
out of
but
curiosity, was that like an
yep,
ablation? Did they call it an ablation?
an ablation. I don't know what they called it. They didn't actually call it anything.
Okay.
I went and had X-rays on it. It didn't show anything, so it was probably just something that I pulled. I mean, I think I was telling you a minute ago, I'm a cable guy, so we were basically like pulling wire through a whole bunch of trees, and like I just turned my head the wrong way, and I just felt a pinch. You know what I mean? And by the time I got home from work, it was starting to get to the point where I couldn't turn to my left. I couldn't put my chin to my chest. Nothing. Um, and then woke up the next day and it was brutal. But
It's called getting
yeah, I
old,
didn't.
my friend.
It's exactly what it is. I turned 51 this year, and like, dude, I'm a usually
51? Dude, you
51.
don't
Yeah,
even
I'm
look.
usually.
Are you serious?
Yep, I'm dead serious. I have a 30-year-old daughter, so I have to be old.
Wow. You look
Yeah,
great, man.
I appreciate it, but I am letting the gray grow in. I don't usually let hair grow
Oh,
in, but
I'm embracing it. I don't know if you can see it, but these are sexy. My wife hates it, which means I love it more.
there you go. Erwin, what's going on? I literally can't grow it, dude. I mean, like this is probably almost a week.
Real quick, guys. I know you're all firing away in the chat section there. I do see you, but I'm trying not to be rude by looking down. And then, so I love you guys. I see you, and if I know Nate's got a better look on it there. If you got any questions, he'll be reading them off to me. But I do see each and every one of you.
Yeah, so man, I did have to ask you too. So nowadays, a lot of channels are using a lot of like AI music, myself included. My little
Right.
intro there, I created on Suno, but that type of tech wasn't around when you were doing your videos before, and you've got a pretty original song. So how'd you come up with that?
So I used to work in the hospital. I spent many
Okay,
years working in the back of an ambulance, and then I upgraded and started working in the ICU. So I worked in the ICU at the local hospital here for a little over 5 years. and everybody in the hospital is a small community hospital. It wasn't one of these big ones. So I knew just about everybody in there. And I'm walking
Right.
down the hallway, and every time I go past somebody, I always hear, "In the bucket," stuff like that. So a really good buddy of mine, he was a cardiac tech, where he was in the monitor room, where they watch all the heart rhythms for the patients throughout the floor. And
Right.
he's like, "Yo, In the Bucket, come here, man. Let me talk to you for a second." So I said, "What's going on?" He says, "Listen, I'm a musician. You know that. I would be honored if
Oh,
I could make a song for your YouTube channel that you could put on your videos. Is that something you want to do?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want nothing to do with that." And he was like all depressed. Like, I mean, you could see in his face, instant, like,
right.
I was like, "Dude, I'm just messing with you. I'd be thrilled to have somebody make something like that for me."
Right.
So, you know how most people say they're going to do things and then you wait and wait and wait and it never happens? Well,
Yeah.
lo and behold, 36 hours later, it's probably
Good
a little
Lord.
bit longer than that, but I mean, it was literally a day and a half later. And I get a text from him. He goes, "Dude, check this out." So I hit play and I'm like
Right.
stunned. I'm staring at my phone. I can't believe what I'm listening to. And I call him, like,
Yeah.
"Dude, is this for real?" He goes, "Yeah, man. What do you think?" I'm like, "I love it." He goes, "All right. I'll get you the final copy and everything." So a real good buddy of mine, his name is Armando or Armand. I
Okay.
have him linked in all of my videos. Go check him out. A lot of his stuff that's on there is old. Nothing's really new, but the guy is just so talented.
Ooh.
His name is
Thank you,
Armand
Tomcat.
from Pokey or Poke Productions or something like that.
I'll have to check that out because nowadays we all just use AI. That's really cool to know that you have a 100% original, like recorded by a dude song, like,
You know that guy from 508 Magnus. I don't know his name. I
yeah,
just know
Josh. Yeah. We hang out quite a bit actually because
so
he only lives about an hour away.
he had mentioned to me. I'm going back 3 years.
Same with Brockton. Brockton lives really close to us too.
He says, "Man, if you ever stop creating YouTube videos, can I have your song?" I was like, "I would love to, but I'm gonna have to retire it with me when the time comes." I mean, it's crazy. People wanting that song. I didn't realize it was that good. I thought it was
Yeah.
just, another cheesy YouTube intro that usually people don't watch. So it really feels cool to have a lot of good comments. And I tell Armand this all the time. He sees it in the comments and the videos. It's really, really is special. You guys are great, especially recognizing the fact that it's not AI. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it reminds me a lot of like, I hate to say it, but like Fresh Prince type of stuff. It's got that kind of beat to it.
Yeah.
So, being an older guy, I appreciate the throwback to like some older school sound, it's pretty good.
Thanks, man. I
There you go.
appreciate it.
There you go. Irwin's recording karaoke covers on cassettes. And I believe that, Irwin.
The yellow cassettes where you got to turn it back with the pencil.
Yep.
Oh,
Dude, I remember like, I mean, God, this really ages me, but people talk about waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio. And literally I would, they would have certain hours every week that were call-ins. So I would call in the song that I wanted to record and literally just sit there by the thing and, create these mixtapes with probably like 2-3 seconds missing from the beginning of every song.
yep. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember doing that too, man. That was fun times. But see, where I grew up in New York, I'm originally from Long Island.
Okay.
The stations that I listened to for weeks on end, at every day, the same time, the same song would come on. So if you missed it at 9:02, you can come right back the next hour and get it at 10:02. I didn't have to sit there and call in. I was just watch the clock, and I know what song's coming on, and hit record. Sometimes they would do this talk over and crazy sound effects that would ruin it, and you'd have to start all over. But
Yep. Yeah. Or they keep talking and you're just like, come on, shut up, shut up.
yeah, while the song's already playing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day. But yeah, so you've been doing this a while. So if you took off a year and a half to 2 years because of, and you told me you had multiple different surgeries, but what was it that really just put you out here? Was it the back that put you out for that long?
So yeah, my first back surgery was in 2013. Did that light make it worse or better?
Nope, everything's good.
So in 2013, I had my first back surgery when I was in New York, and everything was going great. Moved to Florida. I don't know what happened. My second surgery, I had again. I don't know what happened. I just had to have another surgery, and then right after that surgery is when I started magnet fishing. So I want to say that was in like 2017-ish, 2018
Right.
maybe. That's when I
Yeah.
started magnet fishing. And then I did great up until 2022 or 2021, something like that. Then I had to go in and do a revision. That's when my ability to magnet fish on a regular basis really became second to everything else.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's just from being cut open so many times. My body was like, listen, dude, we're too old for this. You've hurt me
Yeah.
too
We
many
got to take a break.
times. We're done. So if you're doing something that I don't like, I'm not going to let you do it. And that's what I've been battling for so long. And then to have this neck surgery. So, when you can't do something that you've done for so long and that you truly enjoy doing, depression
Right.
starts to kick in. So I've been walking around very depressed. I'm starting to think of things that, I could have done 20 years ago to make things different today that I have no
Yep.
control over. Now I can magnet fish. It may take me 3, 4 days to recover, but that's fine if I go out once a week. But now, if my body's feeling good and my muscles are feeling good, my mind's not motivating me to get out there. So I'm
Yeah.
still fighting the demons up here in my coconut to get out and
Right.
magnet fish on days that I can and fully capable of magnet fishing.
Right.
So it's not just so much the back and the surgeries. It's also the mental aspect of it from all the issues that I've had through every back surgery and losing my job and things like that. All of that plays into one big giant snowball. So I just got to figure out how to break this snowball or get it to melt so I can get back to being who I was and who I like to be. But one
Yeah.
step at a
Well,
time. I'm starting with this, so we'll see.
one step at a time, but like, it's a real thing. We can all get in our own heads like that. So I feel you. I don't know what it's like to recover from surgery like that, but me and Nick have talked a lot about, like, and I've been very vocal about mental health and stuff like that. Like, I have anxiety. Um, I battle wanting to get out of the house sometimes too. But once I get out there, here's the thing about magnet fishing, for me at least. Once I get out there, it's all gone. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like, it's literally the water in front of you and that magnet in your hand, and there is nothing else. You can just literally shut it all out off. And like your mind and even body, like I said, I've been having issues with my shoulder for a while. When I'm out there, I don't feel my shoulder. I don't feel all that constant chatter inside my head. I'm just focused on the magnet and whatever view I have, because most of the places when you're out there on the water, they're beautiful spots.
gorgeous,
Yeah.
gorgeous. There's
So
something
you
about
can't,
that fresh air, the cold water, and being
yep,
all by yourself. It truly is, like you said. It's refreshing.
absolutely. And then a lot of people that I meet, um, I meet here are really, really cool. As you see, there's a lot of people hanging out here, which I'm appreciative for. I haven't really been able to individually call out everybody, but I've been throwing your names up. What's going on, Bucky? Yeah, Bucky's saying the same thing. We freely talk about how magnet fishing like saves a lot of us, and how it's just, you can have the worst day in the world and just go shut it all off by standing next to some water. you know.
I
And
was
you
thinking
you
about
live in
that today.
you live in Florida, so you're, most places in Florida are pretty close to water. I live on Cape Cod. I'm surrounded by water. I can't drive more than 5 miles without hitting the water. You know what I mean? Um, so I love it. I don't know exactly how I got into the hobby. I know I was watching guys like Nick, like we were talking about again earlier.
Yeah.
He's really some of the first people I started watching on here, and I was like, these guys look like they're having fun. I gotta go do
I
this.
keep telling Nick every time I talk to him, and he's probably gonna stop talking to me at some point because I say it a lot, and I don't
Me
say it
too.
because I'm
Me
I'm
too.
trying to be. I say it because I mean it. Like he is, in my opinion, and no offense to you or anybody else out here who's
Yep.
in on here, that may have a channel at Magnet Fishes. Everybody's allowed to have their favorite, and I was telling you, before we went live when your premiere was going on that Nick is the one that got me into magnet fishing. I didn't know him
Right.
personally. I didn't know him personally up until 2 years ago when we had Hurricane Helene was barreling down on us. When he sent me a message to, make sure I was doing okay, family was safe, we were all buttoned up, ready to go. That's kind of when we started talking 2 years ago. But when I first started, it was because of Nick.
Right.
Watching him, he wasn't yelling and screaming and having this 5-year-old tantrum about finding a washer or something. I could thoroughly sit down and binge watch every single video
Yeah.
and get something, take something from that video. Yeah, he's finding crap out of the water. I get it. But it's his tone, his demeanor, his personality, his laugh. I mean, it's just the guy is a very wholesome dude, and I love watching him. So,
Yep.
in my opinion, he is the most underrated magnet fisherman on YouTube. But I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But anyway.
And no, that's all good. Like he's definitely a good portion of why I started. Even you got Brockton in here. So
Now, Brockton's another really good one.
Brockton and me go back a little while. Like, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and there was a time when he found something. He found a mortar shell up outside of Boston in a place called Needham. And this TV station wanted to do a piece on magnet fishing. And they said, hey, reach out to some of your buddies. And we had only chatted maybe a couple times on here. And he reached out to me. He's like, do you want to come do it? And I was like,
Wow.
oh, I was like, okay,
Awesome.
let's do it. Let's do it. So it was him, Josh from 508 Magnets. And then there was also Buddy Biggs was there. And it was awesome. While we were there, Josh actually pulled up a rocket launcher, or like a bazooka round. You know what I mean?
I think I saw that on one of his thumbnails.
Yeah, and that was the day we had all met, and that was how I met Brockton. And being local here too, one of the first things I did was like, who are the magnet fishers that are hanging around here? And that was how I got in touch with Brockton, because I searched on YouTube for all the local guys. And they're only an hour away from me.
Yeah,
I found a motor another time, Sean. I found it a different time. At that place, Josh found it. I found a motor at a different spot. So what's your biggest find? We're all talking about motors and rockets. What's some of your wacky doodle things that you found?
Oh wow. I've got quite a few actually. So
I bet.
one of my favorites, and the reason why is because it was, so when you go, I know a lot of people don't have the privilege of fishing boat ramps like we do. Everyone else usually fishes off of bridges, or they're fishing creeks and things like that. Here in Florida, we've got boat ramps galore. So when you go to a boat ramp, you're going to get the common, you're going to get the knives and the boat parts and this and that. But I found a 24-foot sailboat mast. Now this is in Sarasota Bay, which the particular boat ramp that I was at was the busiest boat ramp in all of Sarasota. So at any given time, you've got 4 or 5 boats waiting to come in. You've got 4 or 5 boats already at the slip. Trucks going. I mean, it's very busy. So when I go magnet fishing there, I'm usually I throw my magnet and as much as I can, and then I stop and I wait for the boats to come and go, and then I get in between them when I can.
Try to be respectful. I get it.
Yeah, you try. And then here I am. I pull up. Now this was back when the grappling hooks were the big craze. Everyone was putting the grappling hooks on their magnet.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. But I would throw the magnet out there, and I was pulling it in. The grappling hook actually caught a cable line for the sailboat mast, and that's what I pulled it up with, because the sailboat mast is all aluminum. Only the grommets are magnetic. So if it wasn't for the grappling hook, I never would have got it. But I'm pulling this thing up and I get the cable to it. So I'm like, what the heck is this? So I'm grabbing the cable, and as I'm pulling it, this long tube starts coming out of the water. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I keep pulling, and then I get it. This thing was 24 feet long. It's not the wackiest, but it's, for me, at a boat ramp, who's going to find a 24-foot sailboat mast?
Right. And why didn't somebody look for it? Why would you not look for your mast?
So that is where they bring, whenever we have these storms and you get those derelict boats that they get blown on the ship somewhere. So that's the boat ramp where they're dragging all these.
Gotcha. So something probably just fell off.
So yeah, when they were pulling it up with the crane or with the tow truck, it just falls into the water. So that, and then there's when I had my surgery back in 2022, I started bringing on people who never went magnet fishing. I went on Facebook with all my friends, like, hey, anybody want to go magnet fishing and fish for me? I'll film. I'll give you the camera. You can say, do whatever you want. I'm just
Yep.
gonna, I'm gonna step away. So one of the girls that I used to work with, I took her to St. Pete. We were at St. Pete Pier, had just opened up, so we were up there, wanted to check it out, and we went magnet fishing. So again, at a boat ramp, and she's throwing a magnet out there, and I guess somebody caught a black tip shark, filleted it, and threw it back in the water. Happens all the time.
Right.
They left the hook in the mouth, and the magnet caught the hook.
Oh.
That was, and then when she pulled it up, she pulled up
She must have been
it was
horrified.
probably a 4 to 6 foot black tip shark carcass on the magnet.
Wow.
Wild.
She must have screamed.
So when I was editing the video, I didn't want to post the video because it was one of those videos that I don't like. Nonstop screaming. Even I sounded like a 5-year-old kid. It was just, I don't know. I just got caught up in the moment. It was just one of those things where it's like, holy crap, are you serious? And I posted it, and I expected to get beat up left, right, and center, and I did. You know, people saying, "Oh, it's fake," or "You sound like a 5-year-old," and this, that, and the other thing, whatever. So after about, I don't know, 300,000 comments, I turned the comments off. And then they
300,000
found me
comments.
on another video, and they started comment bombing me on there. So I was like, you know what? Let me just unblock the comments and deal with it. But the black tip shark was the coolest find that I've been involved with. And
Right.
the sailboat mast is probably one of my favorite finds just because of how unique it is.
Right. So you just said something there too, that I want to ask you about. See how you deal with these guys. Those types of comments. Besides shutting the commenting off, what do you do about them? I mean, do you even bother responding to people, or do you smash them with kindness like I do? Kill them with kindness.
So when I first started in YouTube, I would always try and find a way to tiptoe and be nice, but yet, you know, whatever. When you first start doing this YouTube stuff with these comments, they can really get to you. They can really make you feel like an indecent human being.
Sometimes, yes.
Right. But just like anything else in life, the more you do something, the more you get used to it, the more you start to understand that this is all part of the business.
Yeah.
So at first I would, you know, I wouldn't say anything to them. I just, whatever, hopefully enough comments would happen and it would bury itself. Then I started commenting back to them. Then I started deleting them. And then I was like, you know what? This is a friggin' rat race. Say what you want to say. Have your piece and go about your way. So what was happening now as I grew with subscribers and the community, they would take care of those comments for me. Like I didn't have to do anything.
Right.
Now, obviously, if somebody says something and, you know, there's a lot of cursing and it's vulgar, very disrespectful or racist, I will get rid of that. But if it's just somebody,
Absolutely.
you know, somebody saying, "Oh, I'm posting fake videos and doing this and doing that," whatever you want to say, man. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you. Have a nice day.
Yep.
So yeah, you get used to it. I don't respond to them anymore. I just, you know, respond to the people that I know are watching the videos and enjoying the videos. Now, if somebody has a question or if they want to, you know, if they give me their opinion about it, I'll comment with them. But if it's somebody coming outright calling me a liar or this or that, I don't even bother. I just leave it there and keep it moving.
Yeah. I thank them for the comment. I thank them for the bump in the algorithm, and I say, have a nice day.
Give them a heart emoji and send them on. Yep.
That's basically all I do. What is going on, James? How are you? Yeah, I just can't do it. You know, like there was a while, like you said, some of them actually do make you feel pretty crappy.
They do.
But you know, I leave some of them up. I do delete them when they get personal. I will delete. It's just not like I was talking to you about before we even went live here. I mean, I try not to bring a lot of drama here. We're here to magnafish. I enjoy talking about to other magnafishers, even, you know, people in the metal detecting. This community is actually very, very large, and it's very diverse with different hobbies that people are into. You know, like you said, you did metal detecting. I bought a detector last year, and I probably used it like 3 times, but I've tried it. You know what I mean? And um, yeah, there's a bunch of good people here, so I don't let those dumb comments from internet trolls get to me.
Yeah, the treasure hunting community is very special. They truly are. You know, from the bottle community, the thrifting community, magnet fishing, metal detecting, you name it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all in the same spectrum. We just use different tools.
Absolutely. Yeah. I really, I love the haters, Nick says.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, dude.
Or two or three?
I'll try my best to answer.
So I want to know, and this is going back to my editing, where I want to be this amazing editor. How do you, like, what are you uploading your videos in? Are you doing pro resolution, or are you doing YouTube settings standard resolution? Because your videos, they are almost like 3D. They're incredible.
Well,
The definition is so strong.
I'm glad that you're seeing that, because I've actually been trying to tweak it for a really long time, but it's only been maybe the past few months of doing that. But on the GoPro, I'm making sure I'm recording, I think, in, I don't say 1080, it's not even 4K. There's like an in-between setting. But I import everything into a program called Power Director. And then when I export it, I make sure I export it in 4K. And I don't know. I don't think I do anything ultra special than that, other than just, I'll have to look at the settings on the GoPro. It might even be 4K. But that's only been recently that I've gotten it to look that good. It's been tinkering around, and I appreciate the fact that you say it looks that good, because it's been hard work to figure out how to get it to look like that. So
that was the first thing I noticed. The very first thing I noticed, was like, holy hell, this looks really good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you see it, and I appreciate that. But it's, I do, before working for the cable company, I worked in graphic design for 10, 15 years. And one of my jobs actually was not necessarily design, but color correction. So I'm like really tuned into color and sharpness, and that was what they paid me to do. So I'm glad that I'm finally getting that result.
Oh, I love it. I'm sure everybody in this chat loves it too, because the quality is top notch for sure. It really
Appreciate
is.
it.
And I was watching last week when you had your live going. I was like, man, I don't understand why people go live. Like, I get it now, because I put two and two together. You were
Right.
going live, but you were also recording your YouTube video at the same time. And if it wasn't for the beeping on your GoPro, I never would have known. I thought you were just doing strictly the live. I was like, man, this guy's doing two things at once. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's not the two things at once. Is it? I kind of consider it more double dipping. I know a lot of people don't like doing it. They go live and they don't want to record themselves at the same time because it looks quirky. But I try as much as I can to create pauses, so that way I can get into the editing of it. You know what I mean? And try to make it look like it wasn't live. Because you get a totally different audience when you're vertical than when you're putting out a long short video or a long form video. You know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of people may not even have seen the live. So whatever. And then I reuse that content for shorts. It's there. Why not use it? You know what I mean? The content is there. So
I mean, the way that you're doing it, so if you're using it vertical for your lives, and then you've got your GoPro that you're using to film your weekly YouTube videos, but that live is doing two things. One, it's allowing people who have got nothing else to do in the morning to sit around and watch you for an hour magnafish and have a good time. Yep. But two, it's allowing you to make shorts with the things that you find without having to clip your standard rectangle video, because I find that to be the hardest in the world, is converting regular standard GoPro video into a short, because then you got to move things around, up, down, left, right. You got to stretch, and it's just too much.
So I'm going to give you the secret of how I convert that stuff to shorts. I actually use a program called Opus.
OPUS.
Opus, OPUS dot. I'll get you the link or something, but you basically feed a full video into it, and you can create captions and make it look however you want. You can put whatever overlay you want on it. And then you basically feed in your long form video, change a couple of things up, tell it what type of video you want. You want 30-second ones, 60 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Feed it in there, and then it'll give you back a bunch of stuff. It's not perfect, but it at least allows you in a timeline. You know your video, so you know where you're at. So if it's just catching you getting this part, you can pull out and like extend that clip a little bit more. I'll send you the link off this, but it's not necessarily cheating, because you still do have to go in and edit it quite a bit.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. It just helps with the process. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. But there are really, really cool tools inside of Opus. So you might have, per catch, you might have 3 or 4 minutes on that one catch. You can take that down to 30 seconds easily with this Opus thing, because not only can you trim out some of the footage you don't want, but it's got these features where it'll get rid of pauses. So that way it sounds like you're talking more consistent. You know what I mean? And
cool.
Yeah.
Now I got one more question, and then I'll let you beat me up some more.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
So I don't know. I guess it was in your premiere. I noticed in the description you had put down that summer is wrapping up here and getting ready for, the weather's feeling cooler already. So what do you do in the wintertime when you can't magnet fish? Or do you magnet fish in the wintertime when it's 2 degrees outside?
So there's actually a lot of videos. I still go out.
Yeah.
I have gone. I don't think I'm the one that's coined it, but I'm coining it for myself. I go ice magnet fishing. Everybody goes ice fishing. I go ice magnet fishing.
You drill holes in the ice?
Either that, or I'll find a good bridge that I know is probably flowing, so it's not as frozen, and I can bust through it. But I use, a battle magnet, which is the one I use is probably the same size as like a Brute Boss. So it's 5 or 6 pounds. I'll just throw that in there and just smash the ice up until I've got enough room.
So the ice doesn't. So how thick? So on a really good winter, how thick is that ice before you start smashing it up?
I think in like ponds and stuff, it's a lot thicker, but I think the rivers are thinner, and I also do a lot of saltwater magnet fishing. Okay, so it'll still freeze. So if it's like still in flowing. Yeah. But I'll still go out, dude. I mean, I'll just layer up. I mean, I'll wear tiny little rubber glove, and then my magnet fishing glove, and then I'll put on a kitchen glove over that. So that way, like, my hand stays dry, and those other 2 gloves will keep me warm, All
right. Well, how often do you take your gloves off and put your hands down your pants because you're going to get frostbite?
Well, I learned
the that moment where our hands are just so cold. We're putting them
I do it here.
We can. Yeah.
Yeah. I throw out my armpits, but the first year I was magnet fishing, I did get frostbite in my pinky, and I didn't go to the hospital for it, but I didn't have feeling in the top digit of my pinky for about 4 months. Oof. And it just naturally, and it came back on its own. But that was a really stupid first winter, and I wasn't prepared for it. Wow. The second winter I was, by putting, the regular like liner rubber gloves. I guess you would even use them in the hospital or something, those types, because they don't breathe. They create a lot of heat. So as long as you keep your hand dry,
you're good.
That's the trick, is to keep that third layer on there.
Yeah.
But I love going out in the wintertime, dude. I mean, I honestly hate winter, but I enjoy winter magnet fishing.
I bet.
Yeah. But I'm envious of the Florida weather year round. I tell Nick all the time that I would love to move to Florida, and my fiance Carolina, which at some point in time you'll see and or meet on here. She has a lot of family down in Florida. Most of them live in Boca or like surrounding the Boca area. But we've thought about possibly it's going to be a while before we ever move, but I'm not averse to going south.
Here's the thing. If you want to be around folks that you live with, that side of the state is where you want to be. If you want to get away from all of those people, this side of the state is where you want to be. That's why
I don't know anything about Florida. I mean, I did live there for a little bit when I was a kid, but where in comparison, like what side are you on? Where is Tampa?
So I'm on the West Coast.
Okay.
And I am. So my channel says Tampa Bay Magnet Fishing. I don't live in Tampa Bay. I live south of Tampa Bay. For 99% of the population, they all know Siesta Key Beach. It's been rated the #1 beach for many years.
Yeah.
I live 30 minutes away from there, so but I'm not in Sarasota. I live, between Tampa and Sarasota, right in the middle.
Okay.
Anna Maria Island. That's where I'm at. That area there.
I do have an uncle that's in my family that lives in Leesburg.
I've never heard of it. Sounds like it's a northern part of the state.
It's like northwest part. It's like going towards the middle of Florida,
So,
but I
so
think when we went out
it's
there to
on the
visit
main
him,
peninsula of Florida, or it's up in the Handle.
it's in the handle, probably like,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, going towards the middle. He's not quite the middle, but he's almost there.
Yeah. So I would imagine Leesburg is in Lee County.
Oh no,
Possibly.
what is it? I don't even know.
Tallahassee. I've never heard of it, so I can only make an assumption on where it is. So
Yeah. All I know is it's like middle northwest. I can show you Cape Cod by just putting my arm out. Cape Cod is shaped like somebody who looks like they're flexing their bicep. You know what I mean? It's an arm that just sticks out into the middle of the ocean. We're a very, very small place, but similar to, I'm sure we're super, super touristy here.
Oh yeah.
Our season just was over, and that's what that video that I just put out was. That was Labor Day weekend. Some friends of mine, I actually you were talking about putting stuff on Facebook. I was like, I'm going down to this one bridge. I know it's a bridge that a lot of people travel over. It's pretty central to everybody. So I put it out on Facebook. I'm like, hey, I'm going here. Anybody else is curious about magnet fishing, come meet me. And really weird story. So this friend that came, his name is Michael, and we've known each other since high school, probably since we were 15, 16 years old, and I'm 51 now. So we've known each other for a very long time. He's a foster parent now. He's got 3 foster children. Him and his wife, after they had their own kids, have decided to foster children. And so the 2 boys had gotten magnets for Christmas. And my hope is to get them to come out there. I was throwing out the bait to see if they were going to take it, and they did.
Yeah.
But what's really, really weird about all that stuff too is this guy, Michael, and me, this house that I'm living in right now, dude, okay? I bought this house during COVID. The person I was renting from wanted to put their house up because there was the big sell-off. People were selling houses and making a lot of money. So I had to find one, and I bought this house. And I didn't even see any familiarity with it or nothing. But maybe a couple weeks after buying it, Michael messages me and he goes, "Hey, do you realize that you're in Tony's house?" I'm like, "What do you mean I'm in Tony's?"
Somebody else that you grew up with?
Yeah, he's like, you bought Tony's house.
No way.
I was like, no kidding. And so he goes, go in the bathroom and see if there's any red paint. And sure enough, I went in the bathroom. I turned the door like this to see if I could see any around where there was painted. It was painted. And sure enough, there was a big red brush mark on the back of the door.
Wow.
Same house.
That's wild.
Someone is saying hi to you, Jose. His name is Troy.
Hey, that's my brother. What's going on, Troy?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's my brother. I said to him, I said, man, I know you're not into any of this stuff. He's not into what we do, but I said, if you got some time, you want to pop in, man, check it out. So I sent him the link. Good to see you.
We all got our thing, man. Some people are into sports. Some people are, I don't know. Everybody's got their own hobby, but this is the one I picked that gives me peace. So
yeah,
that's why I'll keep magnet fishing,
Love it.
What's a spot that you'd like to get to? I mean, I've been watching, doing this stuff now for 2 years, and
where's a spot that I would like to get to?
Yeah,
anywhere up north, like somewhere in Michigan would probably be a good spot for me to want to go. I see a lot of really cool things coming from there.
Yeah.
Probably Michigan. I'm from New York, so I've magnet fished in New York, not on camera, just for fun,
right,
and just to be alone. I've done plenty of that there in New York. I enjoy it there, but Michigan is probably on my top of the list of places to go. In fact, there was a magnet fishing day that was up in Michigan. I think the first one that was done was up in Michigan.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Michigan would be a spot that I would want to get to go magnet fishing.
Yeah, I kind of think that's one of mine too. And I'm sure you've talked to and know Jason from Motor City.
So I don't. I'm. I was heavily involved in the community. Like I would go on the lives and bounce around from here to there, but I wasn't very vocal. I'm more of a watcher,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Me too, believe it or
I'm a
not.
lurker. Yeah, yeah, I lurk
Yeah.
a lot. So I may know of him, but I don't speak to many people. Like even Brockton. Brockton, I've known him for years, but Brockton and I, our conversations are, "Hey, what's going on, Brockton? Hey, Tampa
Yep.
Bay." That's it. So, do I know Brockton? Yes. Do I know him? No.
Right, right. Yeah, well, I don't know Jason either, but just like I know so far know you on here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but he's always in Detroit, Michigan. He's supposedly, or I think he's been counting, and he's over 100 since he's been magnifishing. Over 100 guns he's pulled out of Detroit
What's
areas.
what's the channel again? Motor
Motor
City
City
Magnet.
Magnet.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Motor. Yeah, yeah. That's the big one there. Yep.
like dude, I'm telling you, yeah, he got one of the huge ones, and I like him too because he's got a very cool demeanor, like you're talking about.
I like with
Um,
his videos. They have wherever he goes fishing on the river, they've got this black wrought iron railing that they tie their magnets off to.
yeah,
Like that's what I know them like. They're because everyone else is tying theirs off of. They put them around their waist, or I put them on the cleats on the docks. But they actually tie them to the black railings, the wrought iron railings. I find it like
I
I've
tie.
never imagined.
That's what I do too. I don't like the idea of tying it to myself. If I'm doing it like if I'm tossing from the side of a river, I'll do that because there's nothing else to tie onto. But
Yeah,
I tie onto the bridge all the time too.
yeah. I
But,
put it
but
on the
but what do you
cleats.
prefer to do? Do you like the dock stuff or would you prefer marinas? I know you guys got a lot of marinas and wharfs and channels.
So I prefer the boat ramps just because there's plenty of parking. I
Yep.
can keep an eye on my car, and I don't know. Sometimes the scenery is nice, with the boats coming and going. You've
Is
got
that
the
Troy?
you you've got the beautiful, the I forgot what they're called. Mangroves. You got the mangroves that are
Oh
along the
yeah.
shoreline, and
Yep.
there's times where we have dolphins and the manatees, and in the wintertime
That's insane.
the water's not so clear right now. It's pretty dark and murky. But in the
Right.
wintertime, when we don't have these storms coming through every day, the water gets so clear. I mean, just standing there on a boat ramp, you could see all kinds of, you see the fish, the turtles, like that is where it's at. So
Yep.
I would prefer boat ramps only because there's just so much to see as opposed to being on top of a bridge or on doing on the bank of a lake or something. No, I want to see I want to see what nature has to offer. So yeah, I prefer boat ramps, but I'm not against magnet fishing on bridges. In fact, I just did that 2 weeks ago. I
Gotcha.
didn't I didn't, but I was supposed to.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's I prefer boat ramps. Yeah.
I
Plus,
like
if
them
my
too.
magnet gets stuck, I can jump in the water and get it and
Yeah.
continue doing what I'm doing.
Yep, I had one of those last week. So I didn't save it, but I had a magnet that we threw off at a boat launch. And Colt from Citizens Magnet Fishing. I was up in Maine because I have a 21-year-old son who recently moved to Maine. Um, and Citizens lives pretty close by there. He only had like a 30-40 minute drive, so he met us and I got it stuck. He jumped right in the water. I'm like, you're a crazy person. but
Well, you
but
don't
he
have
jumped right in
alligators
there.
up there, so what's wrong with that?
Yeah, we don't have gators. You're a little crazy for going in there with your gators. But really quickly, thank you to Troy and Nick for the stickers. I appreciate that, guys.
Oh, right on. You guys are awesome.
Definitely awesome. I appreciate that. So yeah, man, I definitely appreciate. I like the boat launches too. Same exact reason. I mean, they're just very chill. And luck. I've been very lucky around here. We have some of the harbor masters. I'll reach out to them for some of like the town marinas. And
You
they'll
mean
let
in
me right
Michigan?
on the private property. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They let me on there with no problem. I just call them ahead of time, like, hey, I'm thinking of coming down there today. Um, we have this one that's really cool. Is a town called Chatham. As you can imagine, Cape Cod, we have a lot of seafood here. So this particular pier, it's called the Chatham Fish Pier. Probably one of the busiest ones on Cape Cod, maybe even in the Northeast. And I'll usually go to him at the end of the summer. So I'm probably got a trip planned there maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. because so many people go in there. That's where all the commercial fishermen come in. It's, there's gray seals down there because that's where, all the fish, everybody coming in with all their stuff,
Are they aggressive?
The seals are pretty aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's when they got sharks, when there's food, that's when the sharks come, but it's getting too cold for the sharks.
Yeah,
What is
they're
going
coming down
on?
here.
Come on. They're going down there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming down here.
You can have them.
That's one of the things that's another thing that I do on the side. I have this shark finder app. I wish I don't know the name of it, but so what they do is they go out and they find these sharks and they tag them, and then
Right.
there's great whites that go down for months at a time, and then when they come up to the surface they get pinged. They're pinged in New Zealand back in May, and then here we are in September, and they're right off the coast of Miami. You're like, geez, Louise.
Yep, they go
Yeah.
everywhere. We have a lot of groups that do that around here too with the great whites. They'll tag them, and same thing. Right now, I bet you if we were tracking them, they're probably on the way to go see you guys.
They're coming. Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've got a bunch of different shark advocacy groups and stuff like that. I've tried talking to some of them, trying to. I'd like to get involved in some of the stuff that they were doing. I wanted to work with a company called iFaw, which like helps dolphins and stuff. I got to watch them actually release a recovered one time. That was pretty cool. But we've got a lot of conservancy groups around here because we got a lot of stuff in the water. We don't have manatees, but in the summertime we get dolphins.
Yeah, they're right now. Our biggest thing down here is the turtles. Turtle season just ended in October, and so from like May to October, you can't have lights on the beach, and this is now you got there's turtle nests everywhere. So we've got a lot between Moat Marine and SeaWorld, and we've got a lot of those groups down here too that they'll rehabilitate these animals, whether they're dolphins, manatees, turtles, and they'll release a lot of them right off of where I am here in Florida. You'll see on the news just about every other day, or at least once a week, you'll see they're releasing something that's been rehabilitated back into the water from either Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, things like that. So
Right.
they do some amazing work, and I'm glad we've got groups out there that take the time to do these things and do it completely for free. Now, when I say for free, I mean the people that are, the volunteers, because obviously
Volunteers, yes.
organizations run, but people give up their time and lots of it to rehabilitate and get these animals back into the wild. And they're truly special people. I'm glad we have them.
Agreed. So, Jose, I usually go until 8:30. As soon as my premiere starts at 7:30, I figure an hour is enough. I don't want to intrude on everybody else's lives. They've got stuff to do, I'm sure. As I'm sure you do as well.
And my brother is itching to text me as we speak. I had to tell him before I got on. I said, "Look, man, I can't have you texting me every 30 seconds. I'm about to go live. I need my phone." So he's ready.
So he's found you in the chat. Yeah,
he's ready.
It's all good though. But I really appreciate the fact that you came up here, man. I'd say I'd love that you're back, but I unfortunately didn't know you before, so I'm glad to meet you now. And who knows? Like I said, I've met Nick and I've met a few of the guys in Florida. Who knows? The next time I may end up down there. If I do, always willing to connect with people. I love magnifishing with other people. Of course, I love my alone time and my peace and mindfulness. But there's nothing like a day out, pulling heavy stuff out with a bunch of people. So I love magnifishing with people.
Well, Nate, listen, man, thanks for asking me to come and sit down and have this conversation with you. This was very enjoyable. I felt like we were having a conversation, and that's what it's all about. Really good. You've got a really nice crew here in the chat. Again, I apologize that I haven't been communicating with you guys, but it's kind of hard to look at my phone and then down at the chat. But thank you so much for inviting me on. I look forward to doing this again down in the future. And when and if you're ever in town, you got my number. Call me.
Absolutely.
In advance. We'll make it work.
100%, dude. Anytime you want to come up here, we're here every Thursday. Unless something stupid happens in my life, we are here every Thursday.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to take
All
this
right, man.
experience and I'm going to put it in the bucket with the rest of the stuff I have, man. It's great.
There you go. Awesome, man. I appreciate it. You guys all have a great night, and we'll see you guys. I will be live magna fishing this week, so we'll probably see you guys either Sunday or Monday. I don't know which day I'm going out, but adios, everybody.
Bye, guys.